So you don't think it's that strategic to want to eliminate DeSantis as a candidate because on some polls it shows better when DeSantis goes against Biden that he can beat him, but Trump against Biden, he can't.
Here's a video right here of Patrick Bet David. I'm certain y'all seen on my video on my channel all the time. I've been talking about Patrick Bet David and Valuetainment. I watch their channel a lot because, you know, this is a crazy successful businessman. Him and his entire team are extremely successful. They teach a whole lot about business, but they also are talking about politics, and they are interviewing a lot of people who are knee deep in it. And they're talking to Rudy Giuliani on this one right here. And I want y'all to hear what he has to say about this.
Well, we're hearing the stories right now with some people saying what happened this week in New York. You know, some people from the MAGA crowd are saying this is they're using the justice system to weaponize and go against the candidate to eliminate him. That's some people that are part of the MAGA camp that are saying this. Some on the Republican side are saying this is a full-blown distraction because they want to make sure that President Trump beats out DeSantis because he's going to win in the primaries, but they don't think he can win in the general election going up against Biden or whoever else may be. And then
I don't think the Democrats are that smart. I don't think that they're that smart. Nope. And I think that Trump will have a better time winning, but that's just me.
There's people on the left that are saying, no, this man is a criminal. This is the right thing to do. We have to go after him. Mayor Giuliani, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I don't know that we can figure out all of the motivations of a group of people that starting in about 2015, 2016, decided they were going to destroy Donald Trump. So this is like chapter 6 or 7 in the same book, which is let's frame Donald Trump. Let's get rid of him any way we can. It began with Russian collusion. Remember that? That was like 3 or 4 years. So we've concluded Russian collusion about as clearly as we can. And it's real simple. He was telling the truth and they were lying.
Yeah, man, Giuliani looked like he aging like milk, but hey, listen, he aging. And guess what? Guess what's not going to be able to happen to our kids if the country continue to run like it's running? Our kids won't even be able to see the age of Rudy Giuliani. As a matter of fact, forget our kids being able to see it. We might not be able to see the age of Rudy Giuliani if we continue to run our country the way it's being run right now. Because guess what? These other countries, they are becoming allies in one another. They are joining together with their dollar first. We already know when you join with your dollar first and you strengthen your economy, that will strengthen their armies, and then they will feel emboldened to make a move. Something they never would have done. Well, maybe back in the 1800s or something like that, early 1900s. But now, not at all. But it's happening. And y'all know who to blame, but I'm not going to say it.
Not only were they lying, they spent well over $1 million to frame him, which means to try to put him in jail for something he didn't do. I was involved in his 2016 campaign as much as anyone. I was with him almost night and day for about 5 months. I knew from the beginning that the Russian collusion charge was completely fictitious. I didn't know the rest of it, that Hillary paid for it, that it was made up in the Ukraine. The guy who wrote the Steele dossier hadn't been in the Soviet Union for 17 years. I mean, it was a ridiculous thing. But just think about it. All these people were involved in framing him to stop him. When that didn't work, they tried to execute him, a coup, right? Get
Oh my God, I thought you said they tried to execute him. What in the world?
him out of office. And then we had the phony Ukraine story. And then we had the suppression of the hard drive. I was the one who got the hard drive from John Mac Isaacs as the last person. I was the only person who would take it. He offered it to 2 or 3 Republican senators, to the FBI. The FBI buried it for 1.5 years. Then we went through the January 6th insurrection.
Is that David Rubin? It looked like David Rubin.
The only insurrection ever attempted without a single firearm, without any plans to take over the government, without any plans beforehand to do it, but they still call it an insurrection.
Of course they do, because they fear Trump so much. And when they saw the MAGA hats on some people's head, they said, man, this is the worst thing ever. Trump has too much power. He can make people take over the Capitol. He can make people do this. He can make people do that. Even without weapons, they're so powerful. We're so afraid, but we're so afraid that we're not going to call any National Guards out. We're not going to call any police out. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to let them go ahead and do it because it's all for the cameras. Yeah, oh, we're so afraid. We're so afraid. Make sure you record it. Record the whole thing. Oh, yeah, this is good. Oh, yeah, make sure you get the guy with the horn on his head. Oh, this is good. He got paint on his face, too. Oh, he's so evil. He's evil. Look at him. He's not breaking anything, but he's evil. He has them doing it for him. He must be the boss or something like that. He's the evil boss next to President Trump. Oh, man, he's so, like, people are so ridiculous, man. I tell you, Hollywood is, this Hollywood, man. For real.
And nobody
surprised they didn't make a damn movie about it yet.
Prosecuted for insurrection. Nobody even charged with insurrection. And they spent about $70 million on the investigation. And they're imprisoning people endlessly for basic trespass, at worst. There probably were more FBI agents involved than MAGA people inside the Capitol. If you ever get a chance to see the 40,000 hours of tape that they are suppressing. So this is just another attempt to destroy him with completely phony allegations.
They don't even talk about May 29th anymore at all. Care less to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. It's like having the uncle in your family who touch all of the nieces who have done some things to his sisters and nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody. It's not his fault. You know, he on that stuff. He fought in Nam. No, he didn't, but he crazy. No, he not, but let's give him some excuse so we won't talk about it. Just we don't want anybody outside this family talking about it. It's going to make our family look bad. No, it's not. It's just going to make that fool look bad. That's it. You know what I mean? This just being responsible, being accountable. That's it.
I don't know how well calculated it is, whether they want him to be the candidate. They don't want him to be. They want to destroy him.
Oh, my gracious. I did say the uncle that touches the nieces. That's Biden, ain't it? Smelling. I just now saw a meme that was posted by Tyson James, the Christian artist. He's not a Christian artist. He's just a rapper. He's a hip hop artist. And he put a meme, I believe it was him, on IG. And it was like 4 different times where Joe Biden was sniffing a little girl or poking his lips out to kiss one of them in the mouth.
Anyway, if they can destroy him now, they'll destroy him now. If they can keep him out of the... I really don't think they particularly want him in the election for this reason.
What do you mean he takes showers with his daughters? No, what?
No matter how they calculate it, there's only one way he can become president. He's got to get the Republican nomination. So if you can deprive him of the Republican nomination, you can stop him from being president. They got to be smart enough to know you can't calculate who you can beat and who you can't beat. So if they help him to get nominated, their worst nightmare could occur. The only way they can prevent their worst nightmare is to stop him, which is what they really want to do.
I don't always agree with Rudy Giuliani, but I agree with this 1,000%.
Democrat that actually thinks, well, I want to nominate him, is a fool. How many times, I mean, Jimmy Carter wanted to run against Ronald Reagan, and Ronald Reagan beat him in a landslide. And Hillary wanted to run against Donald Trump. We know what happened, right? So I don't buy that one.
She feels like she was robbed. Hey, they cried robbery. They cried robbery. But then when Donald Trump said, y'all cheated, it was like, oh, see, they the only ones that say that. They the only ones. They are election deniers. Yes, let's call them that. Yes, to everyone, let's call them election denier. Election denier. Election denier. They are election deniers. And now every single conservative is considered to be an election denier. When we clearly looked at the tapes, we seen all of this footage of a whole bunch of people on the left denying elections like crazy. Like crazy. But they're giving it to Trump.
I do buy the fact that they want to stop him whenever and however they can.
So you don't think it's that strategic to want to eliminate DeSantis as a candidate because on some polls it shows better when DeSantis goes against Biden that he can beat him, but Trump against Biden, he can't. That's what. A lot of polls are saying.
Sir, Patrick Bet David, and I respect this guy so much, man, but I'm be honest with you, I don't think this has anything to do with Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is pretty much a casualty of war at this point. Who would make a great president, in my opinion? But right now, every single thing that they're doing is all about Trump, all about making him look foolish so he not be able to run, keeping him buried under lawsuits so that he's not able to run. Hopefully paying the right people in behind the, right judges, right jury, right anyone who can just lock this man up and just rid the world of him so that the left can do whatever they want to do without him having to say anything, because he's too powerful. They fear this guy. They fear him. They don't fear DeSantis. Not saying that DeSantis will be friendly to them. They just don't fear him. He's not as much of a disruptor as Trump is. He's not as polarizing as Trump. He's clean. He don't have any dirt on his hands yet.
I don't think maybe it eventually will be that as we get closer to the election. It's too early to know who can beat whom.
Well, no, we brought you here to tell us we want to know now. We're greedy. We don't want to wait. Dave, what do you have to say about this?
Well, first off, I'm regretting the amount of tequila I drank backstage. I didn't realize there were actually going to be people here, so this changes everything.
Salud.
I don't have my tequila now. Yeah. Well, look, on the part, are they trying to get Trump, and is this all about the election? The answer obviously is yes. I should also say that I like Trump. I've interviewed Trump. I voted for Trump. I was living in LA when I voted for Trump, which cost me friends and, community and that whole thing. I think he was by far the best president of my lifetime. And I would gladly vote for him again in certain circumstances.
But he'll vote for Ron because he's tired of all of the hoopla.
So there's no air between us, I would say, but on how outrageous this situation is. And obviously, if the guy wasn't running for president right now, they would never be doing this. It's all about 24. It has nothing to do with 34 trumped up charges that are out of the statute of limitations, that really are nonsensical things for the most part, that now Stormy Daniels owes him money on, and a whole bunch more.
And when is it cool? Y'all answer this. When is it cool to arrest or to indict or to file charges on the victim of a crime? Y'all do know that what Stormy Daniels did was a crime, and that in that crime, Trump was the actual victim. He was set up. Was he being extorted by Stormy Daniels? She was pretty much robbing him. That's what she was. She was robbing him. Like, I'm gonna do this if you don't do this. And he said, fine, be quiet. I'm gonna pay you. Leave me alone. That's paying somebody who's robbing you. You might as well have it. It might as well have been under at gunpoint. If you think about it, that's robbery. But we're saying, he paid her. He paid her not to rob him. So we should lock him up now. We can prove that he paid her not to rob him. When it was actually, man, this is so screwed up. And then when that doesn't work, they find something else. When that don't work, they find something else. When that don't work, they find something. How far can this go? What judge there has to be a judge somewhere to be like, okay, this is ridiculous. Y'all, we're not filing any more charges. No, leave it alone. Y'all are wasting our time. But nah, they say, oh yeah, we love all the coverage. We love all the money. We love all the news. We love all of that. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep them coming. Come on, file more. Okay, that didn't work. Then file another one. We don't mind. Whatever. We got nothing but time. Aren't they busy doing other things? Like, there's real crime going on. There are people like murdering people out there, raping people out there. We're not even talking about the border anymore. Y'all don't see that everything they're doing, we're no longer talking about the important things that will completely destroy Biden. We got to get them to stop talking about where we're screwing up. We got Trump. Let's make this about Trump. We only got what? This April of 2023. We don't have a whole lot of time. Let's just, this whole entire time, let's make it all about Trump. They won't talk about us anymore. They won't talk about this whole how we're screwing up the country for the LGBTQ community. They're not talking about transgenders dancing for kids in class and we're backing that. They're not talking about any of that anymore. They're not talking about this amount of money we're spending over Ukraine right now. They're not talking about any of that. They're talking about Trump. They're not talking about how horribly Biden is running the country, how he's falling up and down the steps and forgetting where his podium is and forgetting how to walk back to his daggone seat from the podium. None of that. Not talking about Corinne Jean-Pierre, how she's horrible at answering any questions, how she's completely being destroyed by certain people. We haven't even seen her get any questions asked of her by Peter Doocy anymore. Something's in the water and everybody's like, oh, we're going to look that way. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Yeah, this is the hot thing to talk about. Let's talk about this. No, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. All distractions, man. That's what it is. It's all distractions. It's all distractions, man. I'm tired of the distractions. Nothing's getting done talking about the distractions. Absolutely nothing is getting done. Please tell me one thing that's productive from any of this. Any of this. I get it. Everyone's coming to the table because they're trying to figure out how to make enough noise so that people can see how wrong this is. What they're doing to Trump. People do see how wrong this is. But there's another group of people who are telling them that this is the best thing possible. There's a MAGA meme going around, MAGA, going around that stands for my ass got arrested. And the left find that hilarious. Oh, you ain't hear about that yet. Well, you did now. Okay. My ass got arrested is what's going on around the internet right now. And people are loving it because we're no longer talking about what's real. We're no longer talking about the fact that Kamala Harris goes on these talk shows and she's asked, what does she do for, what does her job entail? And she can't even answer these questions. Her answer is how strong and how strong of a president that Biden is and how proud she is to walk side by side with him and how hard and difficult his job is. The question was, what do you do for a living? Her answer is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. She was simply there to be the black person on the ticket to get other people to vote for him. That's it. To the point where he felt so emboldened to stand in front of a camera and tell people, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. To the point where when they go into talk shows, people are asking him, they're asking this man, no, they're telling him, you're going to have to put a black woman on this ticket. Before you even run, if you don't put a black woman on this ticket, black people are not going to vote for you. And he said, okay, I got you. I'll make sure y'all got it. What else y'all want? Huh? You want extra cheese? Huh? You want an apple pie with that and a cookie? The cookies are delicious. I can get you a cookie. He's just taking orders. Becoming the president is not about taking orders. It's about giving orders. It's about being the man. It's about being the captain of the ship. It's about being the leader. It's about being that guy that runs things. You know what I mean? Being over a nation that strike fear into other nations, which he does none of that. He does absolutely none of that. But guess what? We're not talking about any of that anymore because we're constantly talking about Trump and how unfair they're being to Trump right now. Because we know that once they stop being this way to Trump, that there might be a possibility that he will be elected again and he can right the ship. They're not going to allow it to happen. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up.